back, I'm dirty rude. Back again, a Friday mood. Well, it's Friday and I'm hoping to do a bit of filming after this. It just depends what happens in my mental household. If you can hear something running around the place, it's my dog. She's just discovered one of her Christmas balls that she hasn't as yet eaten. So yeah, she's just decided the minute I start filming, I'm going to go mental and start zoomies. So that's what's happening if you can hear it. So I thought we'd go into this. Harry and Meghan, Brand is on the slide. Oh, it's just so boring. I could go back. How many years has them lot been around? And every year, all year, you get this. Brand's on the slide. Well, it was never on the up, was it, to be honest? So it was going to slide in it when it was never up. Royal Saviour won't. Harry Prince poses for pictures with an LA fire department. Oh my God, it just never stops, does it? It just never stops. Let's dive in and see what that prat's been doing. Come on, Barry.
Good to see you.
Always
Hi,
a pleasure.
kids, babes. Right,
You've highlighted me to something
Right,
rather interesting. Earlier in the week, we discussed the excoriating Vanity Fair
Oh, so
article,
embarrassing.
8,000 words, which basically tears apart the Harry and Meghan.
I did it first, you know. I did it Sunday. Did it Sunday night or Saturday night. For other people started doing it after that. I don't like to tinkle my own, you know. Do you know what I mean? I don't like to ring my own bell, but sometimes I just have to.
Meghan fairy tale, and particularly lays into Meghan. It's not a hatchet job. It's not a down market hatchet job. Vanity Fair doesn't do that sort of thing. This is a thorough investigation accusing Meghan of bullying staff to the extent
they were being quite insulting whilst being very dreadfully polite, you know. But you can see a lot of it you had to read between the lines, but the majority of it as well, most startling overriding impression I got from the Vanity Fair magazine is it was a walk back in time, history wise and timeline wise, and also how a major publication could be so brazen and just speak what we all say to each other at home in privacy or on YouTube. Come on then.
That some of them had to go into long-term therapy. That's quite an allegation. Neither Meghan nor Harry have denied it. They've just said that this article was distressing. I'm sure it was.
Oh, she'll be on the floor crying, won't she? Like a big old crybaby that she is. Right, go on.
In this article,
up your game, love.
There you go, American Hustle. Not exactly a flattering headline, is it? They basically say that this couple are hustling their way through life.
But that's not a bad you know, I'm lost for words. That is pretty succinct. That is what I would say is glaringly what most people take from their behaviour is their hustling and grifting, as we say in Britain. Grifting.
They're trying to make a buck on the back of their royal status.
Well, they're trying to make a buck on the back of other people's tragedies and other people's children and other people's losses. Yeah, they're doing all that and all.
Very well, to say the least.
Twisted.
But in this article was the extraordinary story.
Go on.
That neither confirmed nor denied.
Don't do that.
There's no record of it in emails or
there won't be.
Documented or written down. But the story was that Meghan got a flunky to sort of shop around publishers to see whether there might be interest in a blockbuster post-divorce book.
Yes, well, we all know that. Of course, she denied it. But I see Lady C said last night, I just couldn't help but laugh. She was on fire last night. And because, of course, they said, oh, yes, well, we're shopping around to see if we like divorce book, bloody bleeding blah. And then they're asked to make a statement. The Sussex said, oh, no, we never did that. Or we're really upset that people could think that. But it's like Lady C said, who else would go around to publishers and say, if I'm getting divorced, would you be interested in publishing my book, dear? It's obviously you, love. I mean, she's quite tedious and tiresome, isn't she, as the Marklet?
Now...
Talk about gaslighting and misinformation.
The article also said that Harry and Meghan were madly in love, so I'm not sure
they're
how
mad.
much
I don't know about in love with themselves.
But Vanity Fair wouldn't put that anecdote in lightly.
No.
That article would have been through a million lawyers time and time again. So there's clearly something in it.
Right.
But you've alerted me to the fact that page 6, the famous gossip column in the New York Post, is reporting that potential book deal is already dead in the water. Explain.
Well, it's never out, was it? It never started.
No, it's not that potential book deal that's already dead in the water.
There's never one.
Okay.
Page 6 is reporting that Harry and Meghan's 20 million Penguin Random House deal that they signed in 2021 seems to have quietly dissipated. That is the story. It's, the Vanity Fair is clear.
I don't know why everybody all around the globe's going, oh, where most of us, like, literally don't care. We could have guessed that anyway. Penguin Random House. I don't know, Penguin Peter and Jane books and Pat the dog. Yes, not exactly what you call a weighty publishing house, is it? Go on.
And communicating the fact that this was a theoretical pitch that someone on Meghan's team was making.
Oh, theoretical.
If there's ever a divorce,
when you say theoretical, darling, when would that come up? Because in my long marriage, I never ever, even had I been famous, gone around the place or said to let it be known, if I do divorce the old man, right, if I write a book, will you publish it for me, loves? Because mainly, most of us are engaged in our marriages without thinking of any divorce, unless, of course, things are going wrong. But then again, maybe, when that comes out that you have been hawking your bleeding wares around, what was it, Penguin Random House and other publishing houses, with a thought to divorce, then we can deduce that it won't be misinformation for us to think that it might be on the bleeding horizon, darling. Oh my God, sorry, kids.
How much
didn't know I'd
do you
left you
think
like that.
this
Sorry, babe.
book would be worth to you? So they were very clear about that. And when we spoke on Recollections,
so I'm doing a bit of cleaning while I'm recording
you made
this.
a really great point in explaining
Waste
that
not.
based on the amount of research and amount of attorneys involved in an article like this, how watered down must have that section been, considering the fact that it was rumors. So the Page 6 article says that Penguin Random House had higher expectations for Harry and Meghan, and I remember those.
When you say higher expectations, I think what we're talking about is like preschool. Anything above preschool intellect. I think the world would breathe a sigh of release and sort of amble off to do our own things, feeling quite a bit more happier than what we have been. If we could ask them just to up their game to sort of pass preschool level, intellectually and behaviourally, and socially and theoretically and all the other E's, we'd all be, we'd breathe a collective sigh of relief, wouldn't we? It would be a rumble that flown around the world. Oh, God. Going mental, right?
Harry and Meghan expected to pen a leadership book, Meghan's potential wellness book, a potential cookbook for Meghan, and the story is that this deal seems to have.
She had me on the zucchini bleeding muffins. I mean, over here we call them courgettes because it sounds posh because it comes from France. I suppose zucchini is what the Italiano people call them. So obviously, with the Italiano influence, it sounds far more fashionable in California to call them zucchinis. And I say, knock yourself out. From where I'm standing, I don't care what you call them, nasty little blighters they are. But I love them sort of shallow fried, dry fried. Griddled. Yes, no oil, just griddle and chop them and griddle them. Not chop them, slice them, darlings. Slice them and griddle them. Edible. A number of ways. I like them in a stir fry. Yes, I've been known to put them in the odd madras. Never, ever have I ever even once thought, I know what I'd do. I'll make zucchini bleed muffins. I mean, muffins just vile anyway, without zucchinis being involved.
Slowly dissipated. Is it because of some of those allegations in Vanity Fair about how these two, their work ethic is incredibly questionable, their collaboration skills not so strong?
No.
Is that potentially why Penguin Random House no longer? So it could be, if Page 6 is correct,
open mic,
Spotify,
open mic, because I got me mum. Oh, look at me, I've been Rogered, and now I keep trying to open my code so everybody can see nothing. Anyway, let's go.
Random House that have said,
hello, it's me, Dave, look at me.
The return on investment's not here, we're going to move on.
Oh, my God, those girls doing.
This is where I got my wires crossed.
That woman.
It was apparently
hello.
the money on the table.
Hello.
It was a $20 million Penguin Random House.
It's a little Disney Mona.
The two of them signed in
name
2021. But an insider familiar with that deal has added that they haven't heard anything about a potential divorce tome by Meghan. So that would be where my confusion was. But interesting.
I think there's a lot of going on behind the scenes, because I think she's kind of saber-rattling by way of mooting the point of a book, even though it's, oh no, she didn't say that, oh no, it wasn't exactly that, oh no, it's something else actually, no it wasn't, it was that, Vanity Fair said it was that, I believe them, not you lot, okay? So, that's the way it goes, and I think she's mooted that because other stuff's happening, and he wants his security, and all this and that and the other. There's a lot of stuff that goes on that we never hear about, and I really do think that being allowed to be let known that she wants to maybe write a post-divorce tome, as he said, or pamphlet, as I'd put it, because most of it wouldn't get through the lawyers, would it? It's going to be the biggest load of hooey ever going. And if it did ever get through the lawyers, and she did actually publish a load of BS about our royal family, hope they take her to the cleaners, because a lot of the time people can write what the hell they like about the royal family. I mean, I've got books upstairs by a very well-known lady who may or may not be Lady Campbell. And in those books, because I collect books of all types, history books, historical biographies, not autobiographies. I don't think I've got any autobiographies. No, I like biographies. And I also collect classic books, and also classic books written by people. So I've got the Mitfords books, I've got, I can't remember now, but anyway, I've got loads of books like that, like Shakespeare, Hardy, Thackeray, those sort of types, yeah. And I don't know where I'm going with that, but I've got them all, and I've read them all, obviously, at some point in my life, and I can remember the ones that I read from Lady Campbell that said quite a few things, you see, darlings, quite a few things that seem to have changed nowadays, darlings. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The world changes. And when she was writing stuff, say, in the 90s, I'm not even talking about Diana, stuff she wrote about the Queen, sort of changed quite a lot. Because there's some really serious accusations in those books that she knew the royal family. Sorry, Lady C, I love you, darling. I know you've got Kitty Gory Castle and all this, that and the other. And I mean, if you can get away with it, good for you. But I'm making a point here. And I think it's not only Lady C, there's a lot of biographies like that. And what they do is they put in some filth and some dirt to sell the book. And 30, 40 years down the line, everything's changed, they've moved on, the dynamics changed, the social situation and structure has changed, so now the story's changed. But it doesn't get you away from what you wrote in the books. And I've got the books. I think the only one of Lady C's books I haven't got is The Daughter of Narcissus, which if I can find it in a charity shop or a boot sale, I'll have that as well, I'll nab it. But I've got all her books, and it's definitely changed. And the royal family never took her to court. And some of the stuff she put in one of the books, which I won't repeat, was just disgusting. It was disgraceful, but it sold the book. I mean, the accusations she made about Edward and about Andrew and about who may or may not have been in their genetic, let's say that in a particular book, that's all changed over the years. I often smile wryly when I listen to her talking. She was on fire last night, wasn't she? She had a bee in her body yesterday, too, didn't she, poor old Lady C? Yeah, so and that's where I'm going with this. The fact is, the royal family, you can slander them and say anything about them, and they don't. It's never complain, never explain. People don't repeat the last bit. It's three things. It's never explain, never complain, never apologise. Do you get me? I'd like them to go with the never apologise and sue people that take the piss and accuse them of things they've never done. That would be fantastic. Because I think the veneer never really came off while Her Majesty the Queen was alive. It didn't matter. You could write stuff however tastefully you put it. We all know what you were writing, darling. Okay? And it wasn't actually that tasteful or tactful. It was blatant what she wrote, yeah? And nobody denied it, and she never got sued for it. Does that mean she was telling the truth? Or was it just a nougat that she used to sell the book, which she's entitled to do, people are entitled to do. But I always wondered why, oh God, if someone said that about me, I'd be really grief-stricken, you know? So, yeah, moving forward now to the present times, if this old bleeding thing writes a book about our king and about Camilla, so I was going to say Queen, oh, it is Queen Camilla now, isn't it? Yes, it is. Sorry, I'm going to see now. About Queen Camilla or the Princess of Wales or the Prince of Wales, I want them to sue. Don't let people write stuff and lies about you. You sue the buggers. Yes, that's what I'd do, darlings. I would. Mind you, Barry's tried that and it didn't go too well, did it? No. He effed up, really. Anyway, I've had enough of this. Had enough of Kinsey. Probably do something later on. I'm sort of in the middle of nowhere at the moment. This is nowhere's hour at 4 o'clock. It's neither afternoon nor evening, you know, darlings. So anything could happen. It's all up in the air for me. I'll leave you. I'll love you and leave you wherever you are in the world. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And if you don't, or if I don't hear from you later, or you don't hear from me, have a fabulous weekend, darlings. And I hear the wonderful Avid Gardener is going to be doing a live tonight with somebody. I can't remember who it was, but it's somebody. If you look at Avid Gardener, you'll see she's doing a live with somebody later on. Okay, darlings, love you and leave you. Bye-bye now.